Immortals, who are you watching on the side of Luminosity, actually, to keep things spicy, to keep things interesting?
Oh, Thief and aproto. Like, without a doubt. Aproto is nuts. But I think LG, similar to Immortals, the entire team works incredibly well. Mada has phenomenal performances from time to time when he pops off on the Sova. Aproto, crispy aim. Man's been in the aim lab all day, every day, training in the practice range. The whole team works out incredibly well. So I'd love to see what type of compositions we got cooking up here. Pretty standard stuff, I think, across the board for both teams. It's a mirrored comp. But Immortals, they'll be starting off on the attacking side first.
Heavy presence towards A, and not more of an aggressive posturing from Luminosity early on. You see the Omen is actually just hanging out back in U-Haul, not playing up aggressively, not really contesting the short spot. They're giving up that much distance, and well, Immortals is going to take it.
Early push-up short here for Immortals, and they're getting aggressive. The paranoia doesn't quite work out, and now as they start to push forward, jcStani has got to reload the clip, but Steve will take him down. It's traded out by Neptune, and now a 3v2 retake for Luminosity as the B-side anchors are coming late to the party.
Spike planted.
Yeah, they've shown up, but at this point, the Spike has been playing at aproto, working his way through pipes. Interesting to see that Immortals did not work their way through that and establish themselves through that choke point. That's a heavily contested area of the map. We'll keep a close eye on that as the map goes on. Proto able to take care of Shanks, goes in for the second, and it's Neptune who gives him the business up close and personal. Just one left. It's Mada. He's able to get one, looking for the second. Gonna get tagged up, tagged back, and now it's Mada who's actually on the hunt. He's trying to hunt people down, but he's buying time. Neptune. He doesn't believe it. He's just sticking it. Oh, he goes around. Yes. He gets the kill, a 3K, and Immortals get on the board first.
Yeah, it's a tough spot. I was listening to Steel's companion stream earlier in the day when he was watching Cloud9 up against T1, and he was saying Cloud9 always stick to defuse. There's no games. Just rush them down. Just peek. They're always defusing, and in that case, we saw Mada. He didn't have a lot of time left. He didn't have a lot of choices left. And Neptune was able to escape, really run away, sprint away from that engagement. And he ultimately swings at the correct time. It was a little close, I'm going to have to say, but Immortals winning the pistol is a great start. 2 Phantoms on board. They want to carry these into the 3rd round.
They do indeed. No hot and heavy push-up A short this time. Similar positioning on the side of Luminosity, particularly around Stellar and the room he's kind of giving up here. Across short. Meanwhile, you see on your mini-map, it is going to be Mada who's playing a bit further back. Now he's working his way towards A, but from Immortals, at least early on, I like this. Nothing has really been shown. There's that Cypher cam. We're going to see that a lot, peeking its way into showers, as of course they funnel that way when we see that, or as I say that, but now we're right back where we started. It looks like it's going to be another push-up A short.
Enemy marked.
At least Luminosity are ready for it. They see one. Oh, they're going to spot another, and he's going to swing right as that drone dissipates. They're ready. They're ready to get engaged here. Shanks pushing forward. Shanks with 2. A player behind Tetris. He's going to get blocked out. One more player in Lamps. The burst classic not going to work out. It's down to KZ, and he will be taken down. Those Phantoms will carry on into that 3rd round. Very interesting. And they get the bonus gold from, bonus gold. I'm thinking of League of Legends. Bonus credits. Bonus credits. They get that from the spike plant there. This is the round here for Luminosity to turn things back into their favor.
And as you mentioned, they're going to be bringing in a couple of Phantoms, and they bought some here too. So now the only, if you can say, weaker spot is going to be Genghsta with the Bulldog instead of one of the 2 marquee rifles in the game. Immortals has a 2-round lead. Luminosity have been hit a bit here. There's that camera that we were just talking about. It's an interesting counter. You see this very frequently. Omen smoking that out really negates all of the information that comes from that Cypher camera.
Wasn't it against T1 that we saw them really struggle with Immortals' shower control? I think that might have been the series where Immortals was consistently getting showers control, whether it was the defense or the offensive side. We're seeing something similar again, and it's just, once again, going to be that heavy A hit. They have to worry about the 50 on the right. Aproto's going to find him, and another lined-up shot. There's one more player in the showers. Aproto, the wobble, crosshairs working out, has to reload the clip. Shanks will take him down, but Stellar, icing on the cake, will take out Shanks. And Luminosity answer back on that 3rd round conversion.
And again, it's not like Immortals were rocking Spectres and Stingers because they had some SMGs from the prior round. They had rifles, and aproto just rips them to shreds. Unfortunately, the clip runs just a bit dry. Has to switch to the Classic, and at that point, he loses the fight. But Luminosity was able to clean up and finish up what aproto had started. A great start for him to the map. Obviously, that last round certainly helped. But for Immortals, we've seen a delayed A short, we've seen a hot and heavy A short, not a whole lot of attention spread towards B, and in the previous round, Luminosity worked their way and they're doing it again. They pushed down B long to get some information, to get some real estate.
Cage trigger.
Yeah, I'd have to say that this is a little bit scary for Immortals. They haven't shown a lot towards that B side, and that's why you're seeing KZ push up quite aggressively, because they haven't shown face there. They've just given free orbs to Luminosity, likely going over towards KZ, who's got the Blade Storm now. But the fact that they've got so much Showers presence, it's great on Luminosity to push up and get a little bit more ground, even though it's the eco, to understand, okay, we're always going to expect some form of Showers presence from Immortals. Let's try to read the other side of the map.
That is exactly where Immortals end up as they're rolling in bunches. You see the Cypher's going to be lagging a bit behind. I like this positioning from KZ. Going to be around elbows. jmoh goes up. He's able to get one with the blade. Steve sitting on the sideline for the rest of the round. But again, KZ all through the smoke. Are you kidding me?
Wow. And that's going to be an upgrade with the Vandal. He's going to sit in the cubby, spike down, retake for Luminosity. Headway going to come through. Spot a wizard in the cubby, looking for the paranoia as well. Shots are going to be good. It gets traded out, and it's the 2v3, make it a 3v1. Stellar, the last player standing. This is a great comeback round for Immortals. All down to Stellar, sees where the spike's planted for B long. First gun duel going to work out in his favor. Neptune from the side. What a thrifty round here from Immortals. They swap over from that Showers presence. And even though that early pick goes down for KZ, an aggressive Jett push onto the B site works out quite well for them.
It does indeed, and I think a lot of it was KZ dying in that elbow. He was in a really good spot to keep Immortals at bay. But dropping there really just kind of opens up the site for them, and they, as we saw, were able to take care of business. And again, it was on a thrifty round. There was, I think the Sheriff did most of the damage there throughout that round. Immortals here, as we start the 5th round, have 3 ultimates to work with. We've seen a number of different looks from the attacking side here, and it looks like now we're going to get even another one. I love how diverse their plays have been early on here.
Well, you know, color me surprised when Immortals is in the Showers for 5 rounds in a row now. Depending on however many players they send there, the Sentinel and the Initiator. And it really sets up a nice A short hit because you've got support from the opposite side, but it's just orb control. They've gotten this for free so many rounds in a row. The fact that Genghsta has his ultimate now, Neptune has his ultimate now, they've just been farming those orbs. And Luminosity could have had a little bit more presence towards that B long side to just, you know, grab some orbs of their own, because look at how many ultimates are available for Immortals. Some of those are from kills and some of those are from ult orbs. And now this delayed mid-round A hit is going to be tough because they know that they've got a little bit more of an easier sight line into the A side, but here it comes.
Oh, Stellar drops out the paranoia. It's not going to flash anyone up as you see Immortals going a bit aggressively. Genghsta with the Hunter's Fury trying to clear some room as Shanks drops. The spike is going to begin to be planted. Yeah, keep a close eye on that flank, folks. He's going to make his way over. Will he be able to get there in time, however, and will it be left unchecked? Thief, exactly. Doing just that. Yeah, he sucker punches. jmoh is able to get one in a second. On to Genghsta, but jcStani with 3 keeps it interesting. Luminosity, however, managed to overpower Immortals. aproto's going to get the defuse and bridge the gap, lead down to 1.
Yeah, that Thief flank really exploited this consistent A site hit. Let's have a look at the replay and the recon bolt. We got to give credit to the support, you know, Mada with the recon bolt there. Finding 2 players, giving Thief the perfect swing into A short. And now Immortals, hopefully they learn their lesson. I still would like to see that Showers presence, maybe just the Cypher, leave him over there. We often see a heavy B side hit with a lurker towards Showers to just catch the rotates off. But Immortals have opted in for just the heaviest Shower presence I've ever seen. But now we're finally getting a look at what their B side hit looks like, or at least their early round B side information fishing.
Smoke comes out from Omen. Different camera here. More of an aggressive one, as the cameras are going to spot each other. Meanwhile, Genghsta with the drone working his way up B long. Get some info. Idea of where some of the players are. So at this point, Immortals knows that there's a Cypher over by A. They did spot the Jett through the drone, so they have some sort of an idea of where the defenses of Luminosity are,
I dropped the spike.
but not enough to make a confident play either way. See the smokes coming out. Roomba's going to be clearing the way. The paranoia once again out of jcStani, keeping Immortals at bay for now.
We've seen that paranoia quite consistently, but look at that. The teleport back. Stellar's in a great position for the flank. Does he take out some of those members? The spike's going down, but you've got another flank developing from Thief. So even if Stellar falls, Immortals are being pinched in. Unfortunately for LG, they've lost too many members now, and now the flank has been read by IMT. They take out Stellar, but there's still one more remaining. Mada coming in from that heaven side. Shots are crispy.
Wow.
Shots are going to be good to answer back here for Genghsta. I like the attempt here from Luminosity, but Immortals just held the line and did not let the flanks work out from A short. Spike going to be taken down. Mada may be looking for some exits. I don't think the heroics here are going to be super crispy. He's at least going to get one for his troubles. Back away, save that Vandal to the next round. And Immortals now lead by 2. When will this A side hit not work? That is my question. When will LG? They've tried the flank. They've tried holding varying different angles. The one round that I think it did work out was when aproto was towards just outside showers, right by that double box. He got a beautiful 4K, but you know that can only work so much, right? So what do LG have up their sleeve to stop these insane, consistent A hits?
And you even see aproto on that last round put his utility in a slightly different spot. He dropped that tripwire in the entrance through a short, knowing that that's where they've been going. But as you said, Immortals was just able to get what they wanted out of there anyway. Not a ton of utility this time around, just one tripwire on the entrance to showers, no camera to note either from Luminosity. You hear the Blade Storm has been used. Ever a spicy thing to keep in mind, ever an equalizer in situations where firepower might be lacking. Luminosity still have a good number of ultimates to work with as well.
I like that smoke to be short as well. It's going to allow KZ to get into a good position. The Boombot to clear things out. Paranoia as well to follow out. We'll see if KZ can get out. He cannot. That's the Blade Storm gone. And now Shanks will lead the charge from the hookah side. The rest of the team need to get onto the site. The spray through the smoke. Stellar lands those classic shots. Mada answers back from the tuna can. Now it's down to the 3v3. There's going to be the showstopper coming in for Thief. He's going to try to clear out hookah, but they back away and the portal's been called. So now LG, 3 members strong, will retake from the defender's spot.
Yeah, Genghsta is going to be the first one there, and the spike is going to follow shortly after. First place, you see him check his pipes. Again, a very important area of the map to control, especially towards this A side. Neptune hanging out in U-Haul. Nothing doing quite yet. You see members of Luminosity all have finally started to show up. No cheeky flank to keep in mind this time from Thief or anything like that. They're all going to be coming in from the same side. Heaven and aproto coming in from the pipes. The smokes are going to be coming out through showers. Neptune's able to get one as aproto drops.
One enemy remaining.
Thief answers back. It's trade for trade. All down to Thief.
One enemy remaining.
Free fires, 1 HP. Has one, but there's shock darts and there's a Hunter's Fury. 1 tag is all he needs. There's the defuse, at least tries to. But he doesn't have a lot of time. Saves the weapon, backs away. And the threat of the Hunter's Fury will pull Thief back. Immortals now lead by 3. A solid start for them. They tried to hit that B site quick. It didn't work. I like that the Thrifty was still enough for Luminosity to keep Immortals at bay from the B site hit. They couldn't get in fast. You saw jmoh was just stuck in Octagon. He wasn't confident enough to push in, and Shanks didn't get a lot of ground despite having so much hookah control. But I like those quick rotations over towards the A side. But fortunately for LG, they read it, just couldn't get the round win.
Once again, Immortals working their way towards showers. You see a good bit of utility used there this time to ensure that there's safe passage as they fight for the orb control, something you've mentioned a good bit. jmoh and LG has not been able to do anything to respond. They get in, they get what they want, and then they rotate away. Meanwhile, the Spike and the rest of Immortals are on the opposite side, waiting, playing a bit more slowly as their teammates are up to shenanigans by A.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I'd love to see like a double peek from Luminosity into showers. You know, just try it out. See what happens on the opposite side, because you've got this lurk now that can develop either from Neptune alone, or Genghsta decides to join them. They're always together on that side, gathering information, gathering orb control.
Blinding.
And this B-side hit is going to be interesting. Shanks, once again, the standard paranoia to get hookah control, but no one's home. At least they don't see anyone quite yet.
There's a ton of utility. I mean, that bad boy's lit up like a Christmas tree, but it looks like Immortals are going to want to go that way anyway. They creep their way forward. There is some elbow presence, but yeah, they just go in. They go aggressive from up top. They're able to take out members of LG as they're just down to 2. Thief drops as well as Neptune lights up. The kill feed Stellar, the last one alive. He's in hookah, but he's severely outnumbered. He's going to drop as well. A 3K on the round for him. Immortals continue to pile it on the attacking side.
You know, early rounds, we saw a little bit of aggression from Luminosity towards B-Long. They were looking for some of their own orb control, tried to get a Blade Storm or a Showstopper on Thief and KZ respectively. I'd like to see that on the flip side towards that showers, because Immortals like always. And what's the harm in denying orb control from Immortals? What's the harm in that? There isn't. There truly isn't. You gather information, maybe you smoke it off, maybe you pre-fire spray through the smoke. There's a lot of different ways that you can do it. We'll see now, it's the eco here for Luminosity, poised aggressively into the cubby. How much value can Stellar get here as the Owl Drone does spawn him out? He's going to try to push forward. Not going to work out while the rest of the team will start to wrap around.
No Vision Striker shenanigans this time around. Immortals are just going to work their way in. Aproto's going to be flashed off. Oh, and he's getting pushed in from both sides. He is able to get one, but Neptune trades it out. The spike has been planted as the neural theft is going to give away everything. Genghsta drops as well. It looked dicey, but so far, Immortals hold fast yet again. They've just been so dominant on the attacking side. Seem Luminosity don't have answers. They can't stop a nosebleed at this point, much less Immortals.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably take this matchup over a nosebleed any day of the week. I don't think I've ever had a nosebleed in my life.
Ever?
So I don't think I'd want that option.
Wow.
But for Immortals, you have to be very happy about how this attacking half is going. Bind, yes, it's, just marginally attacking favored for some teams. But, once we move on to that defensive side, I think Immortals aren't going to slow down anytime soon. It'll all, of course, boil down to that first initial pistol and how that continues. But I'm liking this look from LG, finally adapting, gathering a little bit of information. But for the first time, you actually see Shanks over here towards that shower side. That is new for Immortals.
Well, yeah, but look at why they brought him over. They've known that the ultimate orb has been easy pickings the entire time, knowing that they want Shanks to get that showstopper. Of course, they know it's there. They're just going to send him over there. They get it. And even with the operator presence from Luminosity, Immortals just play so well around the cages from Neptune to give them room to get in there and get what they need. Now that showstopper becomes a very important variable in this equation for the rest of the round.
Get out of my way!
See the push in. We're going to have the tailwind from the Octagon side, showstopper from the hookah side. It's decimation. Genghsta gonna find 2. They at least answer back temporarily. There's a player on site, and the Blade Storm will find him, not the showstopper. Down to the 2v3 retake. Doable for LG. Now it's a 2v2, but both duelists are left. And guess what? See you later. I'm gonna portal all the way to the A side. Shanks has to be careful. Shot's gonna be good, and now it's a 1v2. I like this from LG. Now they've got a shot. Spike going down. 1v2. Can jmoh do it?
Planted.
Mentioned he has the Blade Storm. Keep a close eye on that. Oh, no. Oh, the timing. Unfortunate for jmoh as Stellar's just able to take care of him. He had the chance to do something there, just wasn't able to get to safety in time. Luminosity are able to stop Immortals this time around. They're going to get the defuse and put up another round on the board.
I think there was also a quick portals play from Stellar and KZ. They hopped in and they flanked from the hookah side. And then, of course, since the push didn't quite work out for Immortals, they could have planted and Shanks could have played passively behind the tuna can. But I like the attempt. I like the effort. And I'm glad that Luminosity finally managed to stop some of that bleeding. With 2 rounds remaining, what potential scorelines can we see? It's hard to tell considering the economy. Well, it's not that great for Immortals. You'd expect it to be a little bit more convincing, winning 4 in a row. But it's doable for Luminosity to maybe thwart it this round right here.
Deploying drone.
Once again, the battle for information around showers. The cages are going to go up, much like last time. Genghsta's going to use that drone and get some info, push back members of LG, and again, that orb is free for the taking. Immortals do have the Hunter's Fury to keep in mind as well, should they choose to avail themselves of that resource. Luminosity have plenty to work with on their side as well. They're going to be working their way towards hookah. At least for now. You see the ultimate has been used. Oh man, that could be huge. If he sticks it, no, he just goes in for info. There's nobody going down B long. They know that much because everyone else is stacked up towards hookah. Now they're rotating away, however.
They don't have that same utility that they invested in that last round. Immortals committed the Blade Storm and the Showstopper to that quick B hit. But now Luminosity is still very confused where Immortals are. We understand that it's going to be the A short push now as the shots come through and misses. The Paranoia to try to help out. Hunter's Fury to layer that on top. But they might just hop into the portal. Oh, Neptune. Crispy shot onto KZ. But it still ends up down to a 3v3 retake.
Hunter Fury is going to be used by Mada in response. As the spike goes down, he was able to get jcStani, but just a hair too late. The spike has been planted. As you see members of Immortals start to assume their post plants, Neptune drops. It's just going to be down to Genghsta. He has plenty of health, plenty of armor to work with. But he's got to find a way to get past the defenses. Mada takes care of Genghsta. They're going to get the defuse. Luminosity are starting to work their way towards a 7-5.
It's a good retake for Luminosity. They managed to come in from varying angles. I believe Thief hopped through the portal from B long, and Mada went the old way around. That gives him a lot of different angles to work with. Solid retake from Luminosity. Immortals economy's not looking too great as I had identified in that last round. And this is a great opportunity for KZ to use his op. We'll see where he ends up positioning it here. He has that advantage. Oh, but he doesn't opt to go in for it. He does have the Blade Storm. Oh, he does buy it back. But he does have the Blade Storm as well if he wants to get aggressive early. Once again, Immortals, the old tried and true, showers presence, but this time, as we've seen for the past couple of rounds, passive play towards this B side.
A different angle from KZ as well. As he looks down B long, there is going to be a jmoh just on the other side. KZ's moving. KZ delivers the shots anyway. jmoh out for the rest of the round.
That's what you like to see from LG. Finally, some of that aggression that we wanted to see come out from them, and it works out in dividends towards B long. Now it's just going to be what Immortals have been doing for the first kind of quarter, the first part of this half. The standard A short, A hits. There's 3 members here. They're holding on. Aproto is going to be the first line. The Paranoia pushes 2 members off of lamps, and they'll actually back all the way behind the APC. Now Neptune's coming through. Headshot, and they're just going to decimate them one at a time. Luminosity, both duelists left. Here comes the retake for LG.
I love that Paranoia because it forces Luminosity into a terrible situation. Either they try to stick it or they're pushed back, right? And Immortals is able to get all that room, but Thief, meanwhile, is just ripping Immortals to shreds. KZ has the Blade Storm, but he's gonna get dropped. jcStani with 3 on the round. Immortals take the first half, 8-4.
Switching sides.
That's a good half here for Immortals. Now we'll see what this first pistol looks like. It's an important one for Luminosity to win. If they want to be a little bit more competitive, keep it a little bit closer. But Immortals definitely hot off the press. You know, I think the main story here for Immortals is the substitution for Shot Up. Shanks coming in, and he's filling some big shoes. Not necessarily having the game of a lifetime here, but he's doing exactly what his team needs to do. I was watching, shout out to Penguin. I was watching his companion stream earlier today, and as you had identified on the pregame, he's fulfilling a duelist role. If he was like a Cypher and he had to anchor a site, he'd have a little bit more difficulty knowing what the communication like was within the team. But playing a duelist, you just go in and you get the job done, or you don't. So he's been filling in some big shoes here for Immortals. We'll see how they defend this B short push. The classic Roomba, it's destroyed. That means that there's hookah presence from Immortals.
There is, but it looks like they're going to want to push into it anyway. Shanks, one of the first ones there. Members of Immortals are starting to rotate over through the spawn, at least primarily Neptune for now, as things have kind of come to a standstill. You see the smokes are going to come out. Shanks still there. jmoh up close and personal with the frenzy, able to get 2, and is going to dash away to safety, not able to get the 3rd, but Genghsta with the shock dart is able to take care of Mada. Neptune. Yes, the rest of Immortals just continue to mow down Luminosity. It wasn't just on the attacking side. The defensive side looks pretty dang good too.
Yeah, that box was rough. And normally there's creative ways to reveal information to the attack in hookah. And usually what you do is like Boombot goes in, you've got a player holding the line to that double box outside the portal, and then the other player hides in the 50, right? But this time they've just got a player crouching behind the box and they don't anticipate it, and the paint shells worked out quite well to do a little bit of chip damage. Solid stuff from Immortals. And now it is their force buy. They should be able to take this one 10-4. Once again, Luminosity looking towards this B side once again.
Yeah, it's interesting to see Neptune has swapped the map. He had some utility and presence over by A. This time he's worked his way towards B. He's got the tripwires and the camera there, a cheeky little spot. Genghsta's going to be there with the cross. Meanwhile, jmoh looking for info across a short. Nobody's home. No news there. Suggests that there could be plenty of news over by B, and that's exactly where Luminosity is set up. The spike is going to be towards long, so you got to keep in mind there's the possibility for a teleplay at the very end. Typically, you'll see teams have some info by A, but not the case this time. This is certainly where they're going to want to go. Aproto's able to take care of Neptune early on as the rest of Luminosity funnel onto the map. Immortals is now going to be showing up, but they're all going to be coming in from one side. Furthermore, Luminosity have aggressively taken that elbow control so they can anchor onto that. They are going to back off, however, and give Immortals a bit more room to work with.
They're all going to be coming in from that elbow side. Some of the members will double back and go through the standard choke point. Genghsta has got a tall task here with Shanks. They got to make sure they clear all the possible angles. Boombot's definitely going to hurt for Luminosity here, but they've already started off hot. Now the push starts to come through. It's traded one after another, but Luminosity are falling apart at the seams. It's all down to aproto. Tries to get that classic burst to work out for him. It does not. You know, I thought for a moment there that retake was going to be very difficult for Immortals. There's a lot of smokes down, a lot of utility, great angles set up from Luminosity in the post plant. But again, the weaponry just not there. You know, I think if they had anything better than the pistols that they had, they would have had a little bit of a better time. But that's pretty much the best case scenario for the second round conversion. You lose 2 members or you knock down 2 members from the Immortals economy. They got to play with some weak stuff moving into this one. And now you can really exploit what you think is the weakest site to hit, which it does feel like for Luminosity, they're thinking it's that B site.
I do wish we had seen LG keep control of elbow there. I understand they didn't have the best weapons, but more presence there would have reduced the opportunities, the options for Immortals. Either way, the round does go in their favor, a 6-round lead here. And once again, Neptune this time is going to be over towards B. Meanwhile, the rest of Immortals is going to be pushing it aggressively through A.
That is such a strange game plan for Immortals. They've given up a lot of control of the A side. Now aproto is going to find a little bit more space to work with. 2 headshots from Crispy. Does he find the third? Yes, sir! Give it to him. Now the A side's wide open. He's just going to hold on here. But as the rest of the team have already worked their way up B short, Genghsta tries to find a little bit more damage, but it does look like LG will have a redemption round here on their force out.
What a strange round. Neptune looks like he's going to stay safe here as all of Luminosity are over by A and they get the spike down. Oh, he might hunt this thing out. He's going to spot one. But again, doesn't have a ton to work with. Has the Spectre. He's going to get tagged up and pushed back down to 44 health. And they swarm him. They push him in from a couple of different angles. Steve is able to deliver the final blow and take him out, however.
This is just so good for me, Prado. And I think he also, you know, taking a page out of Immortals' book, having a little bit of Shower's presence. But most Cyphers on the attack have Shower's presence, right? It was a little strange to see that kind of be a little bit lackluster for Luminosity on their defensive side. But it's good to see that they're picking up that same vibe, that same energy on their own attacking half. And aproto just finds so much value after that A short mayhem where they pushed up aggressively. So I think Immortals were looking for a little more, but let's pay attention to the round at hand. Luminosity paying a little bit more passively towards the hookah side, maybe seeing if anyone's looking for that orb control towards that long side. But on the flip side, Immortals, they still want that Showers control, and you'll see them set up at least a player there to hold on and see if anyone pushes through.
Mada using the drone to get some information around B as members of Luminosity rotate over that way as well. You see a couple of pings coming out. There is a ton of utility again from Neptune. He continues to anchor down this site. There's also plenty of presence around the elbow area. So Immortals are in a really good spot here to fend off this B push if they decide to go that way. The smoke is going to come out to keep the spawn area blind. Neptune and aproto are able to get a kill apiece. And now Immortals are starting to come over this way. They still have some presence though. Mineral Theft has been used as Genghsta is able to take care of Ksiaze. Mada still kind of looking around. This has just been so patient from Immortals.
Spike's being planted. Edwig used to clear out the elbow. But it's a 3v4 retake for Immortals. Hunter's Fury as well can be used to try to clear out any specific angles, and that's exactly what we're seeing. But he's paranoid, does finally end up getting tagged by him. This one, remember, and he tags him too. jcStani will pick up some of that slack, take down Stellar, and Immortals now they lead by 6. What a solid round from them in the retake. It was a little bit disadvantageous for Luminosity, but I think you had highlighted it was a slow-moving push that they needed to kind of speed up a little bit more. And once again, giving up some of that elbow control. Ksiaze needed to come out big. There was a 1v2 once he threw down the smoke and he had to come out on the other side. But there's no way he could have known there was 2 players in elbow, right? He just kind of had to hope that he was going to win that challenge.
Right.
And now, Immortals, they're feeling good. 6 rounds is what Luminosity need. It's an uphill battle for them. And once again, they'll try their hand again at some early B site presence.
I really liked how patiently, how calculated Immortals played that chaos that went down on B. But look, again, they have swapped where things are. The Cypher Neptune is going to be over by A this time around, and it's just going to be leaving Genghsta as the main contact point over by B, and he's playing off the site. Meanwhile, over by A, jmoh and jcStani are able to take care of 2 on the side of Luminosity, just down to meager resources for LG, as the spike just now is getting picked up.
Yes, this is a little bit of a scary sight here for LG. Around, they would have loved to find some sort of redemption arc. That A site too difficult to penetrate. They've been hitting this B site just over and over and over and over and over again. That's not a shock dart that you would have wanted either. Maybe trying to clear out the tuna cans. Like, sorry, I thought he was trying to clear out the cubby, but that's fine. Recon bolt, jmoh. Oh, avoids it. And the paint shells, they're at least going to get onto the site, but it was a little bit slow moving at first. Now the spike's going down. Once again, the 4v3, make it the 3v3. They're finally looking for that elbow control, and they find it. It's a 2v2, and Immortals are late to the party.
They are just down to jcStani. He's weak, and he's gone from bad to worse. He's eventually going to get cleaned up. Didn't have very many options or health to work with. Luminosity are able to also preserve a couple of ultimates to go into the next round. They've got 4 to work with here, so keep a close eye on that. Obviously can have a drastic implication on how the round plays out. Meanwhile, for Immortals, financially less than ideal circumstances. Neptune is going to bring in the Stinger. You imagine some Spectres across the board for things like Genghsta there at 3,900. He can buy the rifle and armor, but that's it. Opting to go for utility instead and a Sheriff and light armor. So Immortals not going to have a ton of punch to work with here. Luminosity sitting pretty here.
Wow. The fact that a Tailwind was used because of a Sheriff, that's crazy. Ksiaze did not want his head chopped off. Mada will find a flying Jett, take it down. jmoh will sit out the rest of the round. Early on, we saw Immortals 5-stack or 4-stack towards this B site, but have since kind of split up their resources a little bit more. And for the first time in a long time, Luminosity are looking towards the A site. That's unfortunate for jcStani. Some of the members will pull off. And at least this presence towards B long hasn't been convincing enough for Immortals. They're going to double back all the way towards the A site, and we're likely going to see not even a retake happen for Immortals. They're going to fight for this site on their eco.
Again, Luminosity pack a heavier punch, and they have plenty of ultimates to work with as well. If Immortals can somehow pull this off, it's going to require Herculean effort. LG creeping their way forward. There's the smoke that's going to be coming out from pipes. Steve goes in. He's paranoid, but it doesn't matter as he continues to play aggressively on dancing with Genghsta. Genghsta finally drops. Neptune does as well. Immortals just down to 1. I mentioned it would require some sort of a deity-type response from Immortals in order to keep them at bay, and, well, they come up just a bit short. Luminosity are able to take the 2nd round in a row.
I'm actually really happy that they didn't use a lot of their ultimates, because now they can kind of save it for a rainy day. And there's a couple of days where I can imagine they want to use it. It's 11-7. They can use it to secure this round if they want. This is the gun round, and Immortals are really hopping deep into their pockets. Op here for jmoh, and he's going to be peeking down B long. Likely going to find Genghsta. We'll see how the play ends up running out. But Showers control on the opposite side. And once again, Luminosity, early pressure towards B short and found it.
I like that they keep moving Neptune around, this time again playing towards A. Shanks is 1 point away from having that showstopper, so we'll keep a close eye on that. Meanwhile, Luminosity leaning towards hookah. They've got, or excuse me, Immortals has 3 members on the site, and on the site proper, not playing off-site. They want to fight for control of this. Thief is able to get Stani early on.
The fact that they don't have a B-long split is actually very beneficial for jmoh. I was just about to say that op shot was going to be beautiful. He was able to have a great sightline into hookah, but LG just burst onto the scene. It's all down to Genghsta, who's a little late to the party. Oh, shock tart kill. That's kind of huge. Can he turn this 1v3 around? There's a player pushing through elbow, but aproto backs off. Now the spike's going to be planted. They know that he's there. They've definitely heard that shot for sure.
Spike planted.
And now this 1v3. How expensive can he make this for LG?
He's got a drone. There's a chance, but I like the positioning that Luminosity have taken here. It kind of forces Genghsta to take disadvantageous trades, but somehow Genghsta was able to isolate that one. Gets the second with the jumping classic, but there was not enough gas in the tank to pull off the third. It was dicey at the end, but Luminosity is able to take that round as well.
Have a look at that quick replay, because I ultimately think when Stellar sees Genghsta, Thief should have swung way earlier. Thief should have swung way earlier. Thankfully, aproto does not let that clutch go through. That's application denied. Try again in a couple of weeks. Immortals down to their eco once again. Luminosity, they're slowly climbing back. After a difficult first half, their attacking side has had some better looks, but this is their first A hit in a while. Immortals on the eco. Pistol stacked, weapons stacked. Let's see if they can hold the line with a couple of ultimates here.
Much like we saw a couple of rounds ago, they've left Genghsta alone over by B and invest heavily towards A. And fortunately for them, that's where the push is coming from. You hear a couple of 100 Fears trades out as Genghsta is able to get 1, but LG with the guns are able to take care of business as they get 3. Genghsta's still alive through all this as Immortals is just down to 2 members left. The spike is going to go down. Shanks still holding down this U-Haul area. They've got a chance.
One enemy remaining.
It's all down to Shanks, the newest addition to Immortals. Shock dart to the dome. Definitely going to feel that one in the morning. Luminosity now trailed by 2. This is going to be a round-defining moment for Immortals. They had so much steam, especially after the second half. Then they won the pistol. Then they got that second round conversion. But since then, haven't really been able to hold off the threat of Luminosity on this attacking side. And it's ultimately been that B hit that has just been difficult to keep them at bay. They've tried different looks. Presence to B long, slight hookah presence. Maybe a little bit more hookah presence is required for Luminosity once again. It's that early B site presence, but I like that the spike, well, I thought that the spike located over on the opposite side was just going to be like a late round rotate to A. But now they're committed to this, and you see Immortals also answering back, sending maybe 2 members, maybe 2 over towards the B site. They want to hold this if they can.
Again, playing on the site, not necessarily looking for the retakes. They're certainly going to get their chance as the smokes come through to keep information out of hookah. There's the showstopper, goes a bit wide, but the guns from Thief are exactly what the doctor ordered. Mada's able to get one as well. Thief goes in aggressively, able to take care of jmoh. Swings, but Genghsta is on the other side of the smoke and drops him. Immortals down to 2 members left as Luminosity managed to get the spike down. Genghsta from a less than ideal position, but the nice thing, if there is a silver lining here, is that Immortals was pushing in from 2 fronts, but Luminosity, again, are able to take another round. I believe that's 6 in a row or something insane like that. Luminosity have arrived.
5 rounds in a row, and once again, we're back to this eco position for Immortals. It's just been difficult. That B-side hit has been so difficult for Immortals to stop. You know, I think maybe what we can see from Immortals is some sort of buddy system play in hookah. That's actually what they're setting up right now. where you try to take out the boombot early, you leave a player in the 50, and you hope that they find some success. See if it does. LG, a little bit more split. Passive play towards the A side, and it might give a little bit more space for Neptune to gather some information. But for the moment, Luminosity is kind of biding their time. They're on the precipice of catching up. They don't really need to risk anything.
Really patient there from Shanks. I don't think he's been spotted either. Very well played to keep that ace in the hole covered up, at least for now. Luminosity are starting to rotate back towards A. We talked about how successful they've been on B. Immortals respond and they adjust. But of course, as they do that, Luminosity pulls a string on them and they're working their way towards A. Immortals are starting to invest a lot as they've sent 3 back towards A. This is still going to be difficult for Immortals to keep up.
Careful.
I like this position from Neptune. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He's got to get out of there, though. He's in a little bit of trouble. The team's coming in from behind. Genghsta. And now we're also seeing the wraparound from Shanks. Mada's got a good spot. Oh, but the Bucky chips him away. Doesn't take off Shanks. But still, 3v3. Paint shells to push him back. jcStani with the crispy sheriff. One more member still on the site. That's going to be a great frag there from KZ down to the 2v2. This is a lot closer than anticipated, but the spike still hasn't been picked up. Now it'll be picked up. Guess who's there? Bucky for Shanks. Finds the trade down to the 1v1. Genghsta with the range. And the thrifty round for Immortals. What a setup from the defense.
And as you just heard, that's going to bring them to match point. Immortals hadn't been able to do much of anything, really, for the last 5 rounds. But in that fashion, of all things, that's when they're able to pull it off. That was desperately needed from a momentum perspective. Financially, they're going to have a good bit to work with here as well. jmoh is buying all the way down to broke, as it looks like we're down to just a few seconds before kicking this bad boy off. Again, Immortals here, trying to put Luminosity away on bind.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Back to that B setup. Less hookah presence this time, which is what the setup looked like. In Immortals, they're fighting for this orb. Now shots are going to start to come through. Mada's traded. There's still a player there. Paranoia comes through. KZ has space to work with. Burst Classic doesn't work. jcStani finds the frag, but now they're going to start to hop through hookah. The rest of Immortals need to arrive shortly. But
oh, I love this.
Luminosity are pulling back. LG, Thief, is going to be looking for the cross. Up in here, up in sight. jmoh doesn't land the shot, and they'll back away. They'll reset, and we'll see how this A side hit ends up working out. There's a camera there, there's tripwires there, and there's Genghsta, who proved to be a thorn in the side of Luminosity last round.
Here we go, folks. Luminosity. Not very many options left here on the attacking side. The blast is going to come through. Genghsta is going to be pushed back through U-Haul. He's going to have to retreat to safer space. The Stellar's able to get one. The op out of jmoh keeps Luminosity back. Thief drops. aproto has managed to get a good bit of real estate through U-Haul, and the spike is going to go down at the hands of Stellar. Luminosity don't have as much personnel. If they can get a kill, you can use the neural theft to give away all of the post plants, or yeah, really all the positioning from Immortals, but that's much easier said than done. Immortals still trying to hold things at base. Stellar's able to get one. jcStani with 3 on the round. aproto tries to hold on, tries to stand strong, but it's the 4K heroics from jcStani that's going to give Immortals a 1-map lead.
Solid start here for Immortals, but it's not over yet. This is a best of 3, and there's still 2 more maps in the tank. Immortals clear up bind 13-10. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be throwing to a quick little break, and when we come back, can LG take